one of the things I hear all the time is, oh, well, you guys need to do more to tell your story and things like that. And Jalil and I just basically got tired of that. So I thought I was going to be a GM of a team, Khano, and this is my team. So, and they're all ballers. So, you know what that's like, roster construction. I'm in the same space.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
This is New Ground with Allen Hopkins Jr. Let's go. And Jalil Anibaba.
Joining us this week to cover New Ground is a man who's been there and done that in Major League Soccer, over 100 appearances. Most importantly, he's captained his national team of Bermuda. He is the current head coach and general manager for Rhode Island FC, Khano Smith. So glad you could be with us in this time and moment where you're enjoying a little bit of success. We hope you're doing well today.
No, I appreciate it, guys. Good to see all of you, and looking forward to the chat.
Well, before we get into it, we had Tyrone Marshall on, and we were talking to him about his comfort food after they were knocked out of the next pro playoffs. Do you have anything right now when things are going well? Are there some comfort food, something that is getting you in the mood from home? But give us a sense of how you treat yourself in these moments of success.
Yeah, probably similar to Tyrone. Obviously grew up in Bermuda, but Jamaican influence is coming all over the Caribbean, and obviously there's no Bermudian restaurants around here, so it's a Jamaican restaurant that's close by, and I'm certainly going and get my oxtail when I need it, probably once a week. But yeah, oxtail's my go-to Jamaican food. So it's one close, always there.
Oh, I love that. In March of 2023, you were named the first head coach in the organization's history. Fast forward to this week, you have a chance to make it to the USL final. How do you describe your coaching journey and pathway from an MLS academy to being a head coach and a general manager now?
Yeah, I think my coaching journey has been interesting. And I think obviously a lot of people have different coaching journeys in different ways, but I feel like I've pretty much coached at every single level of the game in this country besides the top in MLS. Like I started out coaching a youth team, U10 boys, then started coaching in the Revs Academy. I coached in college for a bit. I coached in the NWSL, and now I'm coaching in the USL Championship. So yeah, I think my journey's been unique. I feel like I have diverse understanding and a really good understanding of the landscape of the game in the country. So yeah, hopefully one day I get to coach at the top level in MLS and enjoy all those resources and those perks that come with that. But yeah, I think it's been an interesting journey, so to speak. I think people have different pathways. People go straight from being a player to first team staffs, but I don't think I would have acquired the knowledge and experience if I didn't have the pathway that I do have. So I am grateful for the pathway that I have. I'm sure other people have different ones, but I'm happy for mine.
Wow. So Khano, a lot of the times you and I, when we link up, we're talking about the ways in which we either wished the league experience would be at a higher level when you were playing in MLS and I was a young dude coming in or whatever have you. But now you have the opportunity and have had it for about a year now to be able to shape your philosophy and your culture in whichever way that you want. How has your playing career allowed you to be able to connect with your players better? And how would you describe your philosophy and making sure that you're always staying tapped in the right ways with the next generation?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think what I talked about with our board here and people that, were making decisions about what type of team and what type of club I wanted to create. When you look at USL, obviously USL now is probably in a lot of ways comparable to the league that I played in when it was so young. And you look at player experiences and player care, like these guys are not making a ton of money. They're not broke. They're not suffering, but little things that you can do to make their experience a little bit better and a little bit more enjoyable, I think you will get the best out of them. So simple things, but I don't know when you came in the league, Jalil, but when I came into the league, we had continental breakfast, cereal, bagels, cream cheese, deli meats for lunch, sandwiches every single day.
Yeah.
Like a simple human need and necessity, which is food, that you can provide for your players. They're not making a ton of money, they're not suffering, but if you provide them with 2 good meals a day, the amount of teams that don't do it in our league, I think that's a little something that gives us an edge. So for me, it's the food, where you put them in apartments. We have them in really nice apartments. Again, they're not crazy luxurious, but they're nice apartments. I would certainly live in them. So yeah, look, I just think the player experience and player care, how you can look after your players when you can as an organization. At the end of the day, the players they talk to their friends and players that they play with around the league. They're gonna be like, this place does it right, so I'm gonna go there. So honestly, now with how our team is performing and the word is getting around about what we're doing from a player care perspective, the stadium that we're gonna have next year, like, a lot of people want to come here, so it's a good problem to have. Where versus last year, I'm like convincing people to come and join us. Where now I'm saying no to players that I probably would have bit your hand off to sign last year.
Khano Smith, Rhode Island FC head coach and general manager, joining us here on New Ground. Before we get into the conference final versus Charleston, I'm curious to hear, what are the most important things from your playing career that you absolutely have to hold top of mind during this time of year when you have other stakeholders and other pressures? What's the messaging to your players that you remember wanting to hear most this time of year?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I just tell them, like, I know it sounds simple, but I've already think we probably exceeded expectations. So honestly, just telling them to go enjoy the game. It's going to be stressful situations. You're going to play against opponents. You're going to play against a crowd. Refereeing decisions are going to go against you. Just control what you can control, which is your performance, and the 3 things that I harp on a lot about that they can control. You can control your attitude, your effort, and your body language. Nothing else you can really control. If you can control those 3 things and show up as your genuine self, not try to be something that you're not, be yourself, I think it goes a long way. So we talk a lot about those things. So look, we had a player last game, I wouldn't really describe the situation, but something went against him and he felt that he let himself down and he let the team down, and we won. And I walked in the locker room and I said, pick your head up. I'm not accepting that from you. Like, you've done a lot to help us get here. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. We won the game. Let's move on. So you need to have short-term memory in matches like this too.
Yeah, and Connor, one of the things you talking a lot about is, the way in which you look after your players while also bigging them up, hyping them up, making sure that they straight, but holding them accountable all while you're doing all those things. That's also, a very crucial skill set that a GM needs to be able to have as well. Since you're not just the head coach, you're also the GM. Can you just chat to us about maybe a favorite moment that you've had, also being able to construct the team as far as the roster is concerned?
Yeah, I think, look, putting it all together, and I think the really cool part for me is, like, look, when I started, I guess professional coaching was in the Revolution Academy, and we have 5 players on our roster that were part of those Res Academy teams. So to see their journey, to see where their careers have taken them, to see them here now, and like, I know those players. I know they'll do anything for the team. Selfishly, I know they'll do anything for me because I feel like I've built up that good equity with them. Like, one of them I used to pick up and take to training when he was 13 years old because we lived in the same neighborhood. He went to a boarding school that was in my neighborhood. So his parents lived in Western Mass. I used to pick him up and bring him to training. And, like, I'm telling you, to watch this guy, like, run and bite and snap and tackle and press people, like, it's amazing just to see his journey. And he's the same guy that he was when he was 13 years old. So to see where he is now, as a man, and, like, to see how he just wants to be part of the team. Like, he loves the team. He loves the environment. So yeah, I think those things are most rewarding for me.
That's amazing. And it just shows you how connected this game is. Rhode Island FC head coach and general manager Khano Smith joining us here. Let's get into the matchup. Charleston Battery. You have not lost in 8 matches. They're unbeaten in 14 home matches. Your 2 regular season matches ended in draws, including a 1-1 affair a little less than a month ago. Give us the quick overview keys to the match. And before you answer that, I had a chance working with the league office, and Alesko Escuderian does a fantastic job putting together the college showcase and combine. Shout out Aleko. And I was part of the staff that brought in Anthony and Nick Markanich. And seeing Markanich score goals makes me wonder, why do you think he's not in an MLS club? And how does that factor into shutting him down or at least holding him at bay in the conference final?
Yeah, look, I don't think there is one recipe or one template for player development, and I don't know what Nick's situation was wherever he was before he got to Charleston, but I can tell you that he has quickly developed into a fantastic player since he's at Charleston. And for a winger to score, well, I think he's got 28 goals this year in any league, in any time, in any place. That's unbelievable. So he's rightfully earned his move to Spain, and I wish him all the best. I wish he was going this weekend so he didn't have to play against us. But yeah, look, his journey is unique, and it's his own, and he is certainly a key part of their team. He's a threat whenever he's in the attacking half, close to goal. He can score inside the box, outside the box. In a 1v1 situation, a shot outside the box. So he's certainly dangerous, and I guess the keys to really stopping him and his team, like Charleston's, in my opinion, is the best possession team in the USL Championship, and they're gonna have the ball. Obviously, we would like to have the ball too, so we obviously have to respect their in possession qualities while trying to impose our own style in the game. But out of possession, we have to be really buttoned up. We have to be tight. We have to take away their key players' time and space. Him, Aaron Malloy, another one who was at Portland Timbers, who's now thriving. Graham Smith was at Sporting Kansas City. So USL Championship is loaded with guys that have some sort of connection to MLS, and then they just take different paths and different times to develop. But yeah, they have a fantastic attacking team. So obviously we want to stop them and figure out ways we can hurt them. They're down a couple of defenders, playing people out of position. So they definitely leave spaces when they are defending. So just being able to exploit and take advantage of those when we can.
Real quick, Khano Smith, before we let you go, Gavin Glitton gets the head coaching job at Oakland Roots. Happy for Gavin, an MLS veteran like yourself. What is it like to see players that you know navigate the challenges to get into these positions where they're head coaches and realizing their dreams? What's it been like for that community and that group of men that you can identify with for so many reasons to get these opportunities to shine, just like you have this year? And Gavin, who has one of the best interim records ever in American soccer history, ironically, when you really look at the job he did. So what's it been like for you to see this ascendancy of more and more Black head coaches?
Yeah, look, I'm really happy for Gavin. We played them this year when he was interim coach. You know, they came here, it was 1-1. We caught up after the game and spent some time together. So talked about his shared experiences, and I'm really happy for him that he was able to get the job. And you know, I think what I tell guys is, okay, this wasn't my first interview. It wasn't my first situation. I am interviewed for multiple, some MLS assistant positions, some MLS Next Pro head coach positions, some MLS Next Pro assistant coach positions, and got offered some, didn't want to take some, didn't get offered some, didn't get callbacks on some. So every which way you can think about how an interview went, it went for me. And I ultimately feel, I always just tell guys, look, just stick to it, stick to yourself, stick to your plan, stick to your process. Don't give up on yourself. What's meant to be for you will be what's meant to be for you will be for you. And I think I landed in my situation. I think it's the best situation for me. I have a board, an ownership group that really supports us right now, is happy with what we're doing. And they ultimately let me do what they hired me to do within the parameters that they set, but they let me do my job. So they have the trust and belief in me. So again, I'm sure there's people in other situations where they have feel people looking over the shoulder and checking in on them and making sure they're doing stuff. And luckily, results are going good for us right now. So they're letting me be. So yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Jalil and I were at the All-Star game, and I saw Michael Parkhurst. I told him if he's not taking care of you, I'm going to 2-foot him. So I'm happy, Parky. I told Parky, man, look out after my guy because you're a special talent, Khano, and we wish you the best of luck against Charleston. And we know your journey is one. It's not necessarily one of one that is shared by many, but we just appreciate your humility and everything that you've done. Getting to a conference final as a head coach and a general manager is big things, and to do them at the same time just shows you who you are as a person and operator. So congratulations. We're happy for you. We'll definitely stay in touch, and thanks again for joining us on the show.
I appreciate it, guys. Good catching up, and looking forward to the next time, and happy to do it anytime. Keep up the good work.